Hello, everyone. My name is Ashton, and I am back with episode 2 of my self help skills and pieces of advice for social work students and for really anyone who thinks they could benefit from these pieces of advice. So, today's message: always try to critically reflect on your perceptions of others when helping them, as it might unconsciously be impacting your approaches in supporting them. So, as mentioned before in my previous video, I used to volunteer for a suicide slash distress center, or suicide hotline slash distress center, sorry. And basically, at this location, I would be on the phone with various people with various different issues, whether it be mental health related or interpersonal conflicts, etc., etc. Now, I would always critically reflect on all the phone calls I would be on, trying to learn something new about myself or others or just problems in general. And basically, this is one of the messages, or this is one of the lessons I learned while on the calls. So I learned that our own personal view on someone's characteristics, choices, or histories, meaning like things they've done in the past, may impact the way we view them. So while being on the phone calls, I would obviously meet a lot of interesting characters, um, and some of those people, were oftentimes, not good people, whether they were misogynistic, whether they were racist. Um, have done some very questionable things in the history, in their past. Sorry, and obviously, me not being a robot, I obviously have an opinion towards what they do or who they are as a person. Um, and I found that because I wouldn't realize this, being how I feel towards that individual and like what they are and who they are and the choices they made, it affected my way, on how I supported them. So if I was dealing with a racist, for example, I would kind of be, very iffy and not as supportive as I could be, or not as empathetic or validating as I could be, or like as I could be to a not normal, to another person. Sorry. But the reality is that we are supporters to everyone, not just to the people to the people whose opinions we agree with. We are trying to support everyone, no matter who they are as a person. With that being said, it's good to critically reflect on the things that we might not like about a person and try to see if it comes out in the support that we give them or the lack thereof of support that we give them. So if someone's a racist, I might be like, okay, you know what? I need to try and I need to try and overlook the past that, they are, racist or saying some things that I might not agree with. Look over it and continue to support them as I would anyone else. Because the reality is, although they are, a person that we might not agree with, that doesn't mean that they deserve less support than anyone else. Now, I say this because, in the past, I've obviously had to deal with individuals who I probably didn't really like. And because of that, I found myself being, less supportive, less validating, and whatnot. And I didn't think that was, really fair. Although some may even question that. But I do believe, personally, that everyone deserves support, no matter who they are as a person. So if someone comes to me, I need to overlook all the other characteristics I see and give them the support that I've been trained to give. Another example of how our perceptions on someone may alter our ability to support them is, say if we are talking to someone who's worked up over something that's not, big at all. For example, they, say, say they failed a test, for example. We personally might be like, oh, that's not that serious. It's, I've failed a test before in the past and I'm fine, blah, blah, blah. So to us, it might not be a big issue, but to them, it's, catastrophic. We can't look at our own opinion on their situation and be like, oh, just because I think it's, not as extreme, I'm going to give you less support. No. someone, any sort of a situation that happens to someone, no matter how small, no matter how big it is, we need to give the same amount of support that we would give to anyone. Whether someone is, going through a divorce or whether someone just broke their favorite toy. Doesn't matter. We still need to give them the same amount of support. We can't be less empathetic to someone just because we don't think their problem is as serious as, some of the other issues we face, for example. So these two examples, I feel like if we're not, they show that if we're not aware of the influences that we have on ourselves, or the external influences that we have, that they can affect our supporting skills. So then the lessons that we should be learned. If you critically reflect and catch these influences and biases, you can account for them in action. This will make you a less biased supporter, because if you allow your biases to affect your ability to help someone, both you and the person end up losing in this situation. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on my next video.